Hey guys and gals, what's up? This is Gimli1357 here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at how well the Microsoft Surface Duo has treated me over the past month. First off, I would like to say that I'm currently living in Germany/Deutschland and using Telecom as my mobile provider here, which I've had no issues with. I did have to have the package routed through the US, because they are currently not shipping the Surface Duo anywhere outside of the US of A, so I did have to have it routed through there. Thanks, Dad, for forwarding this package on to me. No one is paying me for this review. This is going to be my own personal opinion and feedback based off of my day-to-day use over the past month. Now, I want to begin this review with the negatives, even though I feel like there are a lot more positives to the Surface Duo. The negatives are kind of polarizing because it really depends on what you value in a mobile device. There is the well-known lack of NFC, wireless charging, and multiple cameras, as well as the large top and bottom bezels. The NFC did not bother me personally because I only have one debit card that I use regularly, and it's just as easy to pull my wallet out of a pocket as it is a phone, and a smartwatch is far more convenient than either. But if you do rely on NFC, maybe for many different cards in your day-to-day, and you don't have or want a smartwatch, then this may not be for you. Lack of wireless charging is also something that personally did not bother me because wireless charging causes more heat in your device and can shorten the battery's lifespan, so I avoided it even on my previous devices that had the capability. But if you are invested and have a dozen wireless chargers laying around your house, like I have USB cables, then again, this may not be for you. Now, multiple cameras are something that I would like to see in a Gen 2. However, I hope that they don't put them on the back and instead just add more cameras in a line to the inside, which I'll get to why that is in a moment. For Gen 1 though, I do hope that there is an update to the camera app on the Surface Duo that gives more control over things like shutter speed and maybe a night mode, because right now the camera app is very basic. Now for the last hardware negative, the top and bottom bezels. They aren't as absurdly large and distracting as some people seem to think they would be, but I think that they could have been cut in half and it would be perfect. I actually like some bezel on my devices because the edge-to-edge display on my old Huawei Mate 20 Pro would often register my palm when I would reach across the screen and it would not accept my intended input, which is why I think the bezels on the side of the Surface Duo are great. But the top and bottom bezel could be shrunk to maybe make the screens a 3:2 aspect ratio individually and still leave enough room for my palms. Now when it comes to the software, it is much more polished than it apparently was for the pre-launch reviewers. It does take some time to get used to the new gestures, but if you've been using the Microsoft launcher on your Android phone already, you'll be able to get used to this pretty quickly. And I honestly have had very few bugs that weren't just normal bugs that I would find on any other electronic. However, there are a few bugs that are specific to the Duo that I have encountered. The biggest being when using the Your Phone app to connect to a PC. Sometimes it can prevent the Duo from going to sleep when it is closed, or prevent it from giving you notifications even if you restart both the PC and the Duo. This can be fixed by opening the Your Phone app on the PC that your Duo is connected to, enabling screen share on the PC, accepting it on the Duo, and then disabling screen share on the PC again. I expect this bug to be fixed soon, but it took a while of searching to figure that one out. Another smaller bug that I found was when using it in dual screen mode in my car. Sometimes the bumps of the road would trick the Duo into thinking that it had been folded back and turn off one of its screens. I can then either wait for a minute for it to realize that it is still open, or press the sleep button and then tap the thumbprint scanner to wake it back up, and both screens will be back to normal. I would like to see an option in the quick settings to be able to lock the screen posture, similar to a rotation lock, to prevent this from happening. Alright, now with the negatives out of the way, we're on to some of the positives. Feel-wise, this thing is absolutely stunning. It's clean, it's thin, and it's perfectly balanced as all things should be. The hinge has been talked about a lot, and for good reason. The Hingineers at Microsoft's Surface department have perfected their art, and it really does feel like a Surface device. The size is also a really good balance between usable and pocketable. It's wider than a normal phone, but it has easily fit into the pockets of all of my pants with no issues. The wider screens make it usable in both a horizontal and vertical position much better than a 21:9 aspect ratio that most small screens have adopted. This means that watching YouTube in vertical mode is actually now a pleasant experience. I have really gotten used to using Android in a wider format to the point that now when I pick up a different phone, that other phone just feels really compressed. The 4:3 aspect ratio of the individual screens, with 3:2 across the whole thing, is really nice, but like I mentioned with the bezels, I think it should be swapped, with the individual screens being 3:2 and spanning to 4:3. 3:2 is my favorite aspect ratio for a display, but spanning doesn't really count as its own in my opinion because it's two separate screens, and the individual screens being 3:2 would bring the bezels to a nice size. I also really like the approach to the camera that Microsoft has had with the Surface Duo. Now I know I listed the camera as a negative, but putting the camera on the inside protects it and keeps the outside flat and clean. I also think that it makes more sense than putting cameras on every side because doing so wouldn't actually add anything to the usability. You have to open up the Surface Duo to take a picture anyway, and you're only going to be using one of the screens as a viewfinder, so rotating the other all the way around is pretty much the same as opening it to both screens. The camera quality is also much better than I thought it would be. I expected a nearly unusable camera, but it can handle taking pictures competently. It's not anywhere close to the best camera on a phone, but I would say it's in the running for the best front-facing camera that I've seen. It takes selfie-style pictures and video better than any other phone that I've actually used, and when flipped around, it's good enough that I can capture the moments that I want to. Its weakest point is low light, which is to be expected. You can see from the shots that I have taken, when the lighting is good, the pictures are quite clean. The typing experience on the Surface Duo is also really good. I actually wrote a good portion of this review on my Duo in Microsoft Word. I could easily type faster on the Surface Duo than any smartphone that I've used in the past, and it was fast enough for me to take notes on during an hour-long course that I had at work, while being positioned like a tiny little laptop on the table in front of me. It also has pen support for taking notes, though I'm not an artist, nor am I a fast writer, so I don't really use it all the time, but I already had a Surface Slim Pen to try it out. It's very responsive, and it can be nice to use. I've found that I don't have to switch over to my computer nearly as often as I did with my old phones because I can get more done on the Duo. In the past, if I ever needed to work with two sources, I would always move over to my desktop or tablet to get real work done. But now I can use the Duo and have both sources up to copy and paste information between them. I can click links in messaging apps and have them open on the other screen so I don't lose track of a conversation. I can look things up while talking in a video chat. It makes both work and fun easier and cleaner. I can also now read the news while fact-checking it on the other screen, all from a little device that fits in my pocket. I'm looking forward to seeing even more ways that the two screens can be used. I really hope that the controller emulation that was kind of teased in the trailers comes in an update soon. Being able to use something like xCloud without a separate controller would really make this great for gaming. The price is a little steep, with a starting price of $1,400 for 128 gigabytes of storage and $1,500 for 256 gigabytes. But compared to other devices in this price range, I believe that the Surface Duo offers something more and something better. So in conclusion, while I wouldn't recommend this for everyone, if you're in the market for a new mobile device right now, you have the money to spend, and the idea of a dual screen pocketable device really entices you, this is a really well done first generation device, and I am very much looking forward to seeing where Microsoft goes with future revisions. That's going to be all for this review. See y'all later, folks.